I'm Kevin Smith with Crescat Capital. We're here. I'm here with Scott Berdahl of Snowline Gold. We're here at the Beaver Creek Precious Metals Summit, one of the most exciting precious metals conferences of the year. And Scott has got some incredible drill results going at their Valley project in the Yukon, and as well as a number of new targets, new discoveries. And one of the most exciting things we've got going on is, as many of you know, Snowline has already come out with their initial MRE, their initial resource for Valley, but they're doing a lot of drilling that is infill drilling, showing that this is likely to get even bigger and better. Scott, do you have any comments you can talk about with the resource?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, the results that you mentioned, we just released a hole that was 245 meters from surface at 4.1 grams per ton gold. So, you know, really nice grades, sustained over a big distance, which is something we've come accustomed to at Valley, and we're getting a bit spoiled there, but nonetheless.
That's like one of the best holes you've had so far, right?
It's definitely up there, yeah. And within that, there was a sustained run from 80 meters of 100 meters of 6 grams per ton. So, you know, we haven't, that's the best we've seen over 100 meters, though we have seen, you know, some things that are pretty close to that elsewhere. So it's nice to see, you know, that consistency and those strong grades, you know, continuing over sizable distances right near and at surface. On that, and so it's great. You know, our drilling on Valley this year had 2 goals. One is essentially, you know, infill and de-risking and upgrading the resource. About 45% of the initial resource estimate was inferred, so that's the lowest category of confidence. And so as you drill more, you can kind of upgrade, de-risk. Like you're just assigning a better understanding to what's there with that increased drill density. And it's very often the case. You have nice results, and when you go to infill and go to upgrade, you end up taking a haircut because, you know, just what you thought was there wasn't. And so when you infill and hit what you're hoping to hit, that's always a great thing. When you exceed it, like a lot of these holes have, that's, you know, that's even better. And so, so we're really happy with how that's coming together. You know, it's too early to say exactly how it's all going to shake out, but we've certainly seen, especially in that high-grade near-surface zone, a lot of holes that are just exceeding what we thought. You know, exceeding already very high expectations. And the second goal of the program at Valley is stepping out and building things. You know, we have open edges to the system in terms of our exploration so far, where, you know, some of the boundaries of what we knew were pretty good intersections, and so, you know, keep stepping out from there and keep building it. Yeah, so that's something we've been pressing ahead with as well. And, again, we'll see how it all comes together at the end of the season.
And you still have a lot of holes still to be released, assays pending, is that true? That's
true, yeah. We have over 22,000 meters and counting. We have 5 drills out there right now, active, and yeah, they're drilling away. I think we're on hole 117 or hole 118 at Valley, and so, you know, we've released now up to hole 80. So, you know, we're looking at close to 40 drills.
And lots of visible gold in the core too, right?
Lots of visible gold, yeah, yeah. And so that's a beautiful thing about exploring that deposit, is that it's almost, a lot of gold systems are very cryptic, very hard to tell, you know, what you're into. Sometimes it's very not cryptic. You get, you know, big, gaudy, visible gold in the drill core. We just get little specks of it, but still, you can use those specks, and you can use the number of quartz veins that you see over these big distances to start to get a sense of, qualitatively anyway, is this super high grade, is this just pretty good, or is this kind of marginal stuff? And so, you know, that allows us to adjust our drill program in real time and sort of build on what we've gotten so far.
Nice. And well, it sure seems like it's you know, growing, and the that, you know, both in that upper area, the initial starter pit kind of area, right, but as well as down deep, there seems to be some growth going in that direction too.
Yeah, no, there's good, the mineralization sort of plunges off in all directions. It's somewhat constrained on the southwestern boundary where there's a hard contact. So the mineralization is housed in this intrusive body, you know, this magma that came up 90+ million years ago. And it's mostly in there. It goes out into the country rock a little bit, but On the southwestern side, there's a hard boundary, and we do see the mineralization kind of going right down in some places right along that boundary. And that, we've had a couple of holes into there that are pretty interesting. Others not so much, so we're still figuring that out. But elsewhere, it just kind of plunges off into the 3 remaining directions and in between them. And so yeah, that's what we're exploring and chasing that down, and yeah, we're seeing how much we can build there.
So remind people what the initial resource was in terms of gold ounces, and then give people a sense of when you might be coming out with that next upgrade to the resource.
Yeah, so again, talking in those categories, we had 4.1 million ounces that are indicated, so that's a higher level of confidence, and a lot of that is the kind of high-grade near-surface stuff. So that's that's what we would like to have the higher confidence on anyway, because that's what you're going to be mining first, and also your confidence in higher grades has sort of more of an impact. And then in addition to that 4.1, another 3.3, 3.2, 3.3. Of inferred, and so altogether, it sums up to about 7.3 million ounces.
7.3 million ounces of gold. I mean, that's a lot of gold, and likely to be growing, right?
That's right, and we've yeah, like I say, we're pushing on the boundaries there, and hoping to grow it, and we've taken a fairly conservative approach with that estimate. We've looked at only like a mill-only scenario, which leads to a higher cutoff grade. So we're not looking at heap leaching, though that could be something that factors into a mine plan later down the road there. But it's really not a part of what we're contemplating with that 7.3 million ounce resource. And that's in part just to show, we don't want to convolute the picture that, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. This is a very simple deposit. It's a very nice high-grade near-surface geometry, and so we're just showing, the plumb of what's there. This is what we could do in a mill with quite conservative estimates, and yeah, and hopefully building out from there.
So the economics and the recoveries and everything in a milling scenario, not even having to heap leach, are good, it seems.
It seems that way, certainly, yeah. So for the initial resource estimate, you basically have to make some economic assumptions to figure out, okay, what is cutoff grade, what is actually recoverable, what's not, and so we just looked at that sort of. For the high grade, we wouldn't want to do a different process because you'd be leaving so much on the table if you do a really low cost but low recovery method. When you're talking about 100 meters of 6 grams, the delta between what you might recover from something like heap leaching and what you might recover from a mill-based process is big enough that you're going to pay for that mill many times over. That said, that's something of a forward-looking statement because we haven't done the proper, PEA.
Sure.
We haven't done just shaken everything out and gotten all the details and everything, and really done that very detailed analysis.
But it sounds like that's one of the next big steps is the PEA.
That's right. So we're, I think the next big step is just getting an update on the resource out after this season's worth of drilling. But yeah, we're keen to get to the PEA, and we're looking to do that, in sort of the next 18-month window. Really, as soon as we can, we'd like to have something there because that's again the attributes that make Valley what it is, the consistency, the recovery, the near-surface nature of the high grade, and it really is just almost like a pit-shaped ore body that we've found so far.
Very continuous.
Exactly, and those are things that'll make it stand out for its weight class, and so we're excited to get to that step and really be able to talk numbers and put that onto the table.
It's a tier 1 asset for sure, right? I mean, this is what the majors are looking for. Of course, you guys are going ahead and with a plan to potentially develop it yourself if you have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of value to be realized in just going ahead with it. Like, if the world of the majors didn't exist and we were just out there and we'd found this much of this commodity at this price, there's a clear path.
The economics are compelling.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. But this, so you have this huge prize at Valley, and you're focused on it, but you have a lot of other exploration that you're doing too, and so can you talk about that at all?
Yeah. So when we launched the company, Valley was one target of many. It was really about this district that we saw out there, this region with incredible rocks that have a lot of parallels to Nevada, a lot of parallels to a lot of the more prominent gold camps in the world. And yet they've seen almost no exploration. And we had gone in there about a decade prior, a little more than that, and started poking around in there. And we found just anomaly after anomaly after anomaly. We'd optioned some of the ground out and had some good teams doing some good work out there. And it was just, the conditions of the markets that brought the projects back to us. But with that, we're even more anomalies and some really good data and some just a lot to follow up on. And Valley was one of those. It was the discovery of a few outcrops. And of course, our subsequent going out and doing the surface work and drilling has led to what we just talked about. But yeah, it was just that. It was just a showing, one of many. And so this regional thesis, Valley, is a huge proof of concept for that. And so that makes us that much more excited about pretty much every other target out there. And we're still finding more. Like in that release just earlier this week, we had 2 additional targets that we announced the discovery of. And this is still just from walking around, boots on the ground, and seeing new zones of mineralization, new areas of mineralization, new intrusions in the same cluster as Valley that are hosting gold. And so we just need to figure out how much.
Charlotte is the new one new one that's pretty close by.
That's right. So Charlotte is now the 6th new intrusion that we've found, or reduced intrusion related gold system, the same sort of system as Valley, in this broader plutonic complex in the past 2 seasons. And so that's that's pretty exciting to find that many, but also to still be finding them. And so it remains to be seen if they have gold grades that are anything like Valley or economic, but of course that's our job. That's what we're out there to find out. And if it can make something like Valley, I think it's quite unlikely that it wouldn't make something at least half as good somewhere. But we also don't know that Valley's the best thing out there either. So we're very keen to see if we can find something else.
So you said you had about 5 drills running this season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so how many meters have you drilled?
We've just cleared 30,000 meters, I think 2 days ago. So
you're still drilling.
It's still drilling. Yeah.
Yeah. How much of that is at Valley versus these other new targets?
Roughly 2/3 at Valley and 1/3 on the other targets. So,
well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Scott Berdahl with Snowline Gold, definitely encourage you to get familiar with the story if you're not yet. Scott, any final words you want to leave?
No, just thanks for having me on, and thanks for your support. Yeah, we appreciate having Crescat as a shareholder, and yeah, you allowed us to do that confidence allowed us to make those discoveries at an early stage. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.